There we go. Welcome to Humanity Unboxed. Good morning, Michael. All in green. I like it a lot.
From the Black Dot Cafe.
From the Black Dot Cafe in Laguna Beach.
Yeah,
Um, I am very happy to see you. How are you doing? How is
I'm
the world
alive.
on your end?
I'm alive, and it's very interesting. I met a South African uh, ex. He's seven, so he had a speech. He was from National Geographic at the Dive Club,
Yeah.
and he made a speech, and he said he's seven-generation white South African, and he's so proud to be an African like you. And as I told him about you, of course, how can I not? And he had that same groundedness that you had, very addictive groundedness from that African continent, that
Uh,
birthplace of humanity.
that's it.
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah. There is there's a specialness about um, Africa. As you know, I'm going home soon,
Yeah,
and it's just, yeah, you can feel it calling. It's an amazing place. Um,
yeah,
and I wonder, you say white South African. Um, when we're home, we're all South African together.
yeah. No, no, no. Understand. But I wanted to tell you it was not an African, a
Yeah,
black
yeah,
African,
yeah.
because you always see Africa. You put African. The system has conditioned us so much that
Mm,
as soon as you think, it's so upsetting. I can't even tell you
yeah,
that when you think Africa, that there has to be a certain way. It has to be a very primitive black person.
yeah.
It's a human. It's not
Exactly.
a primitive. It's nothing. That primitive can run things about you in the wisdom.
Mm,
So even if you think, if you do it, which is not even real now, that they live in straw huts. It's like the Vietnamese all live in the straw.
yeah,
No, straw huts. No,
yeah,
they don't. That was then, not now.
yeah.
You know.
And there's a beautiful simplicity
So
in living like that. I mean, I wouldn't mind living in a hut in the Transkei where it's wild ocean and it's pretty good.
and who says it's
Yeah.
better? I mean, it's not proven that it's better.
No,
I mean, how to prove that to me that if you have everything, you're good. And now we find out all this stuff that's going on. But it doesn't matter. It's not a thing. It's just becoming aware. The whole world becomes aware
well, that's the thing. I think
right
it's
now,
there's
I
a
think.
lot of um, unfairness. No, I don't know what the right word is. There's a lot of systemic stuff being unveiled, being opened up
Yeah.
and shown, um, and it's sad because we blame people for systems that fail often. Um, there's
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
case here in the UK. I haven't looked into it too much, but I've seen in the headlines of it coming back. So there was a nurse that was accused of pretty much killing babies in a maternity ward, and they figured out that it was she didn't do it. It was this, it was a system failure, but the human got blamed, and her life.
Of course, it's always in systems, always human get blamed. Okay, we have the greatest thing for you. You do this, you win. Then you don't win, and people start suing the
Yeah,
system, right? It's the people's fault. They didn't, or it's either the people's fault that wanted it and didn't do it right, right? If I'm selling something that is, it makes you great. You false
yeah,
promises, right?
yeah,
False hopes. Then you do it, and it doesn't work. Then you sue the company, and then it's either the people didn't know what to do or didn't
mm,
do it right, or it's the people of the company. It's never the
mm,
system. The system is never. It's the people that they throw out one CEO, put another one in. It's
goes,
we are used. We are made systems so relevant. And when I say, we always say that, or I say they always say that it's never enough, no matter
mm,
what, right? That is a total copy. That's a total copy of what we do by nature. A kid plays with their
mm,
toes. right? And it doesn't stay playing with the toes, because otherwise we still would all play with our toes
Yeah.
right now. We don't stay with it because we, by DNA, we want to explore, become aware. These are my toes. Now let me get up. Let me, and then they wobble, fall down, wobble, fall down. So there is no such thing that a spirit just gives up and is lazy. But in the system, linear thinking world, binary thinking world, a spirit is lazy, and we have to protect the system that the spirit doesn't get lazy. So it's never enough, no matter what. How do you
That's
like
really
that?
good. I like that concept
Right?
of the baby playing with their toes, because I mean that's where everything starts, though. That self-awareness.
Yeah. There is no laziness, and you know what they found out when some kids sleep more than others, is because the brain develops till
Yeah.
24. So it's not because you come to school. They want you to already be a professional a school person when you're 14, 15 years old. And if you need more sleep, your brain needs more thing to develop. So actually, that you really can deliver as a human the maximum, you really can
Yeah.
be efficient. No, because it's short-term success. You need to get that class,
Yeah.
you need that grade, you need to
Which
get that stuff, and you're lazy, and then you're instantly manipulated to be lazy because you're not doing anything, and that is completely different than saying, "Oh, you can't say this," that's systemic being, uh, what would you say? Compassionate. That's a systemic compassionate. Compassionate is understanding the awareness that this kid needs that, not because he's lazier than the other one. So he needs that because his brain needs more time to develop, because everybody is one on
Yeah,
one.
but there's so much that I want to say.
Say it,
So
please.
we've actually now tapped into systems which show us how much this is true. For example, a lot of people really embrace the human design, which is also a system of understanding humans, really.
Exactly.
Um, and
Yeah.
there we have different energy types. And if we then look at
Yeah.
people, instead of generalizing, I mean, we don't even want to
Yeah.
generalize within those energy types, but it's so apparent that
Exactly.
we are so different. Um, and as you say, when teenagers, they the timings are wrong. Everything's just so geared for gearing us up for failure in a way, so that we can't
Yeah.
be in individuals, so that we can't feel that we're enough, so that we, backtrack to becoming that thing label that we're getting, that lazy label, or that stupid, or my brain doesn't
Yeah.
work, or these things I hear
Yeah.
from the children. And I mean, I don't even know where they get it from. I don't even know if it is someone that's saying that to them, or if it's just a feeling that they embrace when they are part of this system, because they don't move in the
Of
same
course.
way. Yeah.
Okay. Mental health was not an issue in our lives. Never. In you and my life, was
Well,
mental
it
health
was.
an
I
issue?
mean,
Other
yeah,
than
yeah,
dyslexic. Yeah. Other than that,
yeah.
you and I, we are
Well,
other. We
I
are
suffered
the
from
mental health in
depression
this.
and all those kind of things. I had an eating disorder when I was a
Welcome to the club.
teenager. Yeah.
Welcome to the
So I
club.
mean, those things were there, but there was, I don't know, I don't know. It was different because there
Eh,
wasn't there was a self understanding of it. It was yeah. I started listening to a new music artist, which I think um,
yeah.
he's not new. I've restarted listening to him. Ren. I don't know if you've heard of Ren. He's a
Yeah.
British guy who's really suffered through the system, especially mental health. He's been diagnosed, and I don't know, all kinds of stuff. But it's really interesting to listen. He's telling these beautiful stories. I'm walking now every day, so I listened to him for an hour on my walk earlier, and it's real. It's
Yeah.
it's that deeper thinking of, I am struggling in this world and I'm trying to understand it. Yeah.
But we all do. See, this is always the thing. No, I don't, because I'm a
No.
billionaire.
Yeah.
No, you totally do, because the poorest and the richest suffer the most, because for you it's the risk. Yeah, you have money. I know
Yeah.
money does a
It
lot of
helps.
you good, but still, look, you have to pay money. Whatever there's now with the Grammys and all this stuff, you have to pay things that is bought. And I know that when I work with certain people, they told me that other things are like other
Oh yeah.
prices and system are shuffled around, and I know that
Yeah.
since I'm a child, literally, because when we did something at the mayor's house or something or whatever, they say this person gets it, this now not, and isn't there vote?
No.
No, there's no vote. There's this. Yeah, there's a voting, so the people feel they are part of. But they say the same about the taxes. Taxes was never supposed to be more than 2%, right? And then we have 12%, right? They were made just to have the people feel they're participant in the whole
Yeah.
system. Yeah, and yeah, they were supposed to be only 2% because there was so much against it. But they say it's better when people work hard, that they see that they also, because with their work, that they're even more a part of
Yeah.
the system. And now they have 12 point something system. They were supposed to be only 2% maximum. They will, in America especially, they have that the thing that's it shouldn't be more
Yeah.
than that. And it was literally not a need. They didn't need it because we have so many oil and all that stuff, natural
Yeah.
resources, right? They didn't need that, but they wanted to have people believe that. And then they built the whole thing, which is never enough, no matter what, all the whole world. And today we have a scarcity. And what does it help you with the scarcity when you were the one with $10 billion? It affects you. It affects you 100%. And why do you think Elon sleeps on the floor in the office and has a $55,000 home, prefab home that he lives? Which I understand from one side, that he wants to live. Said, I don't want to sell something where I don't have to live in. I want to drive a car
Yeah.
before I sell it. I understand that, but and nobody can catch him because he's not a money spender. He's not. He doesn't care for that because he's like us. He likes what he does. His job is what he
Yeah.
loves. Not how many cars he gets or how many houses or whatever.
And this is quite an interesting stage in the world, or space in the world that we're in at the moment, where it's so difficult to believe or to really see people like this, like Elon Musk, or whoever,
Yep.
for who they really are. We can kind of take the little pieces and create our own image of it or of them. But for example, Elon, I don't know. There's so much nonsense being spread around. Um, I don't
I
know.
don't care
Yeah,
what
it's
this.
so
I keep
difficult.
my own thing. I send it. I check into his or
Yeah.
her energy, and then I make my own
Mm.
opinion. I mean, if everybody would say you're the worst person, I don't care. I would still do my
Yeah.
podcast with you. I wouldn't even think about
Yeah.
it. You
Yeah.
understand? It's like I make the choice. Nobody else makes the choice. I make the choice about that person, and I can read everything. Because how much have you read? I mean, look at Taylor Swift yesterday. The whole thing with the
I
Taylor
don't know
Swift, right?
that is.
Uh, Now
Oh,
everybody booed, and they booed also the football team. And I said, a month ago, everybody jumped and
yeah.
want to be like, there's nothing better than that. There wouldn't be
Mm.
another better person, but only in
Mm.
systems. Only in system. That was system
And
relevant,
also
and it
environment.
was
Who's
and,
surrounding
and
you.
Trump too.
Um,
Everybody
yeah.
was, Trump was booed everywhere after last year, the January 6th, or
Yeah.
two years ago, January 6th. He was booed everywhere. He was, uh, you know, shamed and whatever. And now he's the
But
biggest
he's
star.
not
It's like,
though, Michael. He's not a star.
but
Yeah.
now I'm not saying he's this
Yeah.
systemically. I don't believe. Also, I don't believe that when you cut, this is just a fixing on the top level, on the top.
Well,
1%.
it's a
What they're doing
disruption on
right
the
now,
top 1%, and I hope it
1%,
yeah,
it trickles
is.
not down. I can guarantee it's because they're not even thinking about it. They say, so what are you going to do with the money? I'm
Yeah.
asking too. What are you going to do with the money that you save? And this is not for here. This is for the whole world. So you say, I saved. Oh, Michelle, I saved for Great Britain. I saved $2 billion. So where's the money going? Is it now it can be wasted on something else? How does it get down to where it's supposed to be? Because the people paid.
Yeah, there's so much wrong within all of that for me. Like,
And
there's
there's
such
such
an
an
imbalance
abundance. You
in
see it.
the way that we have found value in money, which doesn't exist. It's all driven by supply
Yeah.
and demand, a system of lack. Um, yeah,
Scarcity. That's the scarcity holds it off. So, but then the people hoard it.
yeah,
When you have scarcity, if I have enough and you have enough, then we can decide either to stay like that, which we won't because we have played with the toes.
yeah,
Remember that? We have played with the toes and we moved on. We're not going to stay
yeah.
with that. Or we can say, hey, let's do more or let's do different. Also, it wouldn't be more to make more money. It would be different. If I have enough that I can choose in which way I'm going to expand as a human, right? And I say, I'm going to be a musician. I have enough, I can just be a musician. I have enough, I can just make my sandals. I'm enough, I can just make a new education system. I have enough, it's not, I don't have to make enough. When I don't have enough, I always have to take more to somehow get more money. And that already uh, engages the corruption. Because if it's about money, you don't have fun with it, and you
But
want to get
money
it over with. You
actually
cannot
exist.
embrace.
So what does money represent
Yeah,
for us? So money represents power for a lot
belief
of people,
systems. Belief
beliefs, yeah.
systems. Yeah.
But I need money to be able to travel or to experience certain things or to pay.
Permission too.
Um,
Permission. A
yeah,
life permission. You want to go to South
I need
Africa?
money.
You can't. You don't have enough to just say. Doesn't really matter. I can go tomorrow. I can stay for 2 months. I come back. See, that was in the past. The people had savings. They had discretionary income. Not anymore. So it's this is put on the scarcity of first of all, money is tainted. We love money because it is such a good flag for our blockages, and we can process our whatever we believe wrongly and whatever. But it is a tainting of the word. See, looking human-centrically at money is the representation. It's a wonderful tool. It's wonderful to exchange thing, and uh, it also safety security. It could help in the safety and security. So when you work harder today, you can say, I work harder for the two weeks or 2 months, and then I can take a month off that I really want to do for something
Yeah,
special. I want to read a book. I want to meet my friend that lives on the other side. I want to be this. I want to do. You would have a human-centric choice. But even education right now, people go for 3 days on vacation. That's
yeah,
not
yeah,
education, vacation. Yeah, they go for three days on
yeah.
vacation.
But because we're not allowed to, we don't deserve. I think there's a lot of deserve and element to
Yeah,
the more I work, the more I put in, the more I can get out. And
but you can't.
no,
You
yeah,
know that you can't because then you
mm,
buy more, you buy a bigger house, and then you pay more again for the house, and you're in the
mm,
same position. You never get out of that. It's never enough, no matter what. And when we enough people get conscious of this, then we actually can create an opposite. We could start thinking to create. I mean, you and I do this anyway, but what is an opposite of it's never enough, no matter what? That only has one alternative. That's cut
yeah.
costs. There's no other. There's
Unless
no
we go
other.
with I am enough, just I am
Yeah,
already
yeah, yeah,
enough, and
yeah.
that's it. There is no when
Yep.
or if or after I've done this.
There's no
No.
choice. No choice. No choice.
Yeah.
There's no choice. And this is like, and that when you have no choice, you're controlled. So we have created collectively. There's nobody to blame, because the moment you blame, it's gone. Because it was Trump, it was Biden, it was this person, it was that person. The moment you do that, everything is gone. So what? That's why I say, to catch all these people is a great first step, right? To catch all the people that abuse the system and took an advantage, that gamed the system. We talked about that too. The gaming of the system, if that's the only way to survive or to feel safe. But what is if people can't game the system? I cannot game the system. So when that happens, that's the nice first step. But what is the next step? Now you saved all this money. How can you? So the next, actually, when we do all this stuff, we should parallel think, what is the alternative? Because in systems you have good, it's like binary and linear, right? Good, bad, right, wrong, true, false. You have all these measurements, but you only have a one-sided measurement of a collective flag, which it's never enough no matter what. There's no opposite. You gotta have an opposite. You can't be so stupid. I'm sorry. We are so freaking stupid that where there's no opposite. And I'm not the first one that said that. And it's like, oh, you did? No, I didn't. I don't know anything. And never ever come to me and say I know anything. I'm aware, but I'm not knowing anything.
But now we're going back to a binary. So if we can completely remove ourselves from the need for a system, so only looking at the system as the tool. Like, I love systems. I've realized in what I create. For me, they're little systems. I know if I put these, then I can
things
then I
there,
can
whatever.
move forward. There's order. In the chaos, but it's other people might not.
But order is a grace. A human grace is order that lifts us at the top of the food chain. The order, the grace of order. I mean, monkeys have orders, but we have a super. I mean, you put a human anywhere and they sort out and make decisions. It's a human grace. It's not something you learn.
No, because it's individual as well, though. Like, if someone looks at my desk area, it might be more of a, it's an ordered chaos, maybe. But it's very, I know exactly where to find everywhere.
I have the two. I know exactly where it is. Yeah. Because it has to be efficient. When I say, Michelle, I need a brush, number one brush, boom, you got it. Yeah. But if I say, and you can't be efficient and find it, I think order is everywhere where you can be efficient, not where you're lost.
Yeah. And efficient doesn't mean more productive necessarily.
Yeah, no.
It means getting there in a way that is best for you.
Resolve, having a resolve.
Yeah. And there has to be a little bit of chaos.
This is interesting where this goes. What?
Yeah. For me, there has to be a little bit of chaos in there for me to realize the need for the order. So it's kind of this dance. There's a beautiful word, sophrosine, which is a dance between self-expression and self-restraint. And I feel that a lot in the world. So it's kind of, for you to see the light, the brighter the light is, the darker the shadow. And you can only see it with both of them present. If there was only order, I think we get wrapped up in the system of the order instead of the need for the order or the outcome, the reason why we needed the order.
Yeah. And I think that wasn't, when all the religions, they have made that systemic, they made up the shadow. They made up the devil. They made up.
They gave it names and they pointed in a direction instead of,
versus saying, hey, not everything in life is always rosy, and when not, then you can,
Yeah, but
see
it showed
this
it
and
as
learn
bad,
this,
though.
or
When it isn't bad because
it's
we
not
have
very,
cycles
no, it's
in
never
our
bad.
in the world, in nature.
Yeah,
Everything is cyclical. There is winter,
yeah.
and then we go into spring and summer, and then we go autumn.
It's
Yeah,
millions of years.
and so are
It's
ours.
millions of years or
We
billions of
need those
years.
cycles.
Yeah,
And we have different
yeah,
cycles, men and women, or the feminine and the masculine,
yeah,
where the feminine has a 28-day cycle with the moon, which is longer.
yeah.
It's more drawn out.
How long a man? Monkey
24
cycles.
hours. So it's got to be done. It's
Okay.
quick. Which the
Yeah.
world is now really tuned into, this masculine aspect of productivity. We need to, what are you doing? What's on your list? What are you getting done? Instead of, you know,
But
having
just that is
both. We
not.
need both. We can't have
But
one.
what see, that's that's always the problem with what you're getting done is, do you do enough? It's like they connected that with, are you doing enough? Oh, it's not enough. Prove to me that you make enough.
Mm.
And that starts in
Yeah.
school, right? Because you prove to me you're smart, you can read, you have get all these
Ticks, the board,
grades, and the grades and everything. Yeah, you get all
yeah.
these grades and whatever, and you know that, and it got so
Mm.
off that people don't even remember anything. They just, the system says when you have a degree from Harvard, you are getting a job.
No, but you're not. And you know,
You're not.
my thing with school is, they're not learning any, like this trip to South Africa. I know that they will learn so much more than they would in that same time at school. You know,
Oh, same, for more than same. They
yeah.
probably the
But
whole
but
year.
we are most likely going to get a fine for taking them out of school. So, you know, what is the logic behind that? It's only control, because we are bound
Yeah,
to do this, because if you do that, then other people might. It's all bullshit. Yeah,
control
yeah.
and manipulation.
Not
You know,
education,
why
not
do I?
uplifting, the humanity, or learning, or growing, or nurturing, or any of
Yeah,
that.
yeah. You know what? I'm really, really thankful that AI has literally destroyed knowledge,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
knowledge was what was really, once you had knowledge, you
yeah.
had control, right? And now knowledge is
Readily
here for everyone.
available.
It's thing, and it's not even valuable, because it can have hallucinations and whatever,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so it's like really, really odd. The whole thing is
Mm,
very odd. But I think knowledge, it is. I'm really getting into the thing of
yeah,
knowledge, because I said, what is knowledge in an AI world? What has it become? I try to make some, and we can talk. We have an
yeah.
episode about it, but you know what I'm saying? What has it become knowledge? Because knowledge is always the past. It has nothing to do with future. It's always the
And
past.
in
It's
effect, past
something
doesn't
that
exist. I
happened.
mean, we also have the issue
Yeah,
with knowledge, that it isn't always real. It isn't always true. It isn't always the full picture,
yeah,
and we're finding that more and more. Even AI, when we
yeah.
use AI, I need to double check and go and look a bit deeper. We don't know anything. We don't know anything about humans.
But we don't admit it. You and I think that we're the only person in the world, you and I, that's loudly say on a podcast for all the world, we don't know anything. Don't say we anything, because, and it's so a short circuit, and this is like, if I know about tires, I might not know anything about tires. Do you understand? If I'm a tire
Yeah,
specialist, I might not know very much about tires. There might be so much more to know in the wholeness of a car, in a wholeness
yeah,
of whatever,
yeah.
a cart, in the wholeness of
Bicycle.
a tank, in a whole of bicycle, whatever. It's So we taken one thing out, and this is why the whole medical system has really they
Yeah.
realized that, but they're not doing anything about it. I hope they start soon. Where somebody's a heart specialist, but he doesn't know the other thing. Well, very easy with colon. If your colon is affected, then your lungs. I mean, the Chinese medicine said that was just ignored over thousands of years. The Chinese found that. I'm not saying take it and just blindly take it, but wouldn't you want to integrate that when the colon is off, the lung is
Well,
off,
if
or
something
the
in the
lung is off the
system
lung?
is off, then the whole system is affected. So,
Yeah, yeah,
surely we know this inherently. Like that's where the wisdom comes from,
yeah,
is to really
yeah,
tap into that gut feeling of, hang on a minute, something's not right. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but
yeah,
I need to be still and just feel what.
yeah. And not go to somebody else that knows. See, that's the thing. We go right away and say, "Oh, he needs to know." But how can he know? Really, if you really go down it, the person cannot know. He can suggest, but he cannot know because you are
Yeah.
101. So if I say honey, I took honey, and it made my throat perfect. I could sing. I was an opera singer. Took that honey, everything. You take honey. You're an opera singer. You take honey, and you lose your voice
Yeah.
completely. So everybody is there. So we need to stop that other people have the answers. They might have answers. They have clues, but it's not the absolute. There is no absolute. I go to this, and that's how we react. You say, I'm going to go to this lung doctor, and he will tell me what to do. I'm going to go to this heart surgeon, and he will know what to do. He doesn't.
No, but he does
And it's a
a
tremendous
system
pressure.
which he's been told, there's so much mistrust in the world, especially in the world of health.
False trust. False
Yeah,
trust. Yeah.
it's so sad, because if we follow the money within that cycle, there shouldn't be any trust, because it's not built on wellness. It's not built on
Yeah.
I want the best for you, or love.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
what it all comes down to. I have a wonderful friend here who is a nurse, or was a nurse, and all she wanted to do was love people better, literally. I mean, she was amazing at her job,
Yeah.
but the systems were just, it was killing her. It literally made her physically sick, trying to work in these systems and being so detached from
Yeah.
something that she
Yeah.
do.
The unawareness. I always say the unawareness. The people that actually, the nurse, right, is representing the brand of that
Yeah.
hospital, right? And she actually has the experience to dance with the clients of that hospital. She's nothing in the system. She's
But she's
nothing.
treated as nothing. So they
She's
make sure that she knows that she's
I
nothing.
know, I know because the top, the fish always stinks
Yeah.
from the top, but and that's why I think we have to bring it down. That's why the grassroots, we have to. There needs to be a grassroots. That's, I hope, now in this whole world, what's going on right now in the whole world, there are enough grassroots that actually interact. So when you cut on top, say, oh, we found out 15,000 billion of dollars were used for this, and we saved that money, and now we have more abundance, right? How can that, get the feedback or rely on the feedback from the grassroots that says, when you did this happened a year later, when you did that, this happened, and and when you did this
Yeah.
got worse. We need the feedback. We cannot have, because system segregates
Yeah.
everything. And if that's why I say, that's why we said, if a system was a life system and was adapted to human centricity more, so there's primarily the system has to cater to the human centricity, not to the money, not to the financial principle, not to certain people, but to all. Because otherwise we don't need systems. If systems are not here for all, we don't need systems. We don't need governments, nothing.
I would love.
Because tell me why we would not. Yeah, no, but tell me
Yeah.
why I would. I mean, if anybody listens, they can say, give us a suggestion. How would you say we created system to help all of the tribe, not just the king? You know, all the kids, cook for all, not cook for these people and that. That came later, but it was always for all.
And yet we don't see all. We don't see the difference.
Because we are conditioned over a generation that is segregated. And every time you go to, if you want to be free, it's not in the system.
If freedom even exists, I don't think we have a clue what freedom really means. Yeah,
I know we have talked about that, right?
But yeah, it's not in a system, and it's agency. You know, to be able to have agency for yourself, to have
self-control.
Well,
not outside control. The agency is such a system-relevant word. You know, it's basically control, because it's like because if system would say control, that has a negative. You know, I don't want to be controlled, right? So they invented a word, agency.
Yeah, but if I have agency over myself,
of course,
there is another world.
I understand. I understand. Self-control.
Yeah.
You know, self-esteem and
but not
awareness.
Control. Trust that I know what is best for me and my family.
And that comes from awareness. The more you're aware, I mean, if you know you're not sick but you're pregnant, it's a different story, and you will do the right thing. Yeah. See, you will stop playing with the toes and do something else. That it's like there is the awareness. Oh, I'm aware of toes now. Thank you. Now I can do something else. There's no laziness.
It's back to that spiral, because we go out, but we come back in again, you know, and it's not necessarily the toes, but it's the heart maybe, or the being present in the world.
All of a sudden, I have a voice. Yeah. Whoa! You know, I can sing, I can whistle, I can. Oh, I'm good with whatever animals.
Yeah. Or I feel things really deeply, and you know, I can use that as who I am. It's not a bad thing. Yeah.
No. Yeah. You got everybody is a one-on-one. Nature doesn't make mistakes. It's always
exactly. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you so much.
We will chat again in a couple of weeks' time now only.
Yeah.
But I will be sending you lots of photos and the sound of the ocean from the Indian Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean. I'll send you